The owner of that dog killed a 4-year-old boy in North Spokane. He's in jail tonight, but it is not related to the deadly incident on Halloween. 48-year-old Dustin Block violated the terms of his release from a previous arrest. He was not supposed to be into contact with anybody under the age of 18. Sadly, that was not the case. But court documents say the boy was staying with him 5 to 6 times every other week. Block charged with voyeurism and possession of child pornography dating back to 2015. The child's mother released a statement about the incident Halloween night. Court documents say Dustin Block is the owner of the dog that attacked the young boy. A family spokesman explained that Block is dating the boy's grandmother, who provides child care. Peyton Venn says she did not know of the charges Block was facing, adding that her son was, quote, failed that night by the adults present that were to care for him. I was deceived into believing that my son was in a safe place while I took care of a personal medical emergency.
Hello, today is the 4th of December, 2023. I want to report on a tragic and latest dog attack that unfortunately killed a young child from November 1st, 2023. The report says, family pitbull kills child, Spokane, Washington. A child is dead after being attacked by a family dog. Spokane police officers responded to a residence in the 900 block of East Walton Avenue at approximately 8 p.m. Tuesday. Upon arrival, officers discovered a child suffering life-threatening injuries by the family's dog. Officers immediately began rendering aid, states a immediate release issued by Public Safety Communication Manager Julie Humphreys. The dog was severely injured by family members who intervened to save the child. Another version of the report says, child killed in fatal dog attack on 10/31, that is October 31st, 2023, just after 8 p.m. SPD responded to the report of an animal attack at a residence in the 900 block of East Walton Avenue. Officers arrived and discovered a small child had been attacked by the family's dog. Officers immediately began rendering aid, and care was subsequently transferred to SFD and AMR. Despite the efforts of first responders, the child succumbed to their injuries. Family members' valiant attempts to protect the child resulted in the dog being severely injured and beyond help, ultimately dictating that officers euthanize the animal on the scene. At this time, there does not appear to be any criminality involved in the incident. Rather, it appears that this was a tragic accident. This incident occurred in a residence and was not related to trick-or-treating activity. Information of the victim will be released by the medical examiner's office at a later date. Scraps, or SCRAPS, took custody of the dog's body. Officers euthanized the dog at the scene. Spokane Regional Animal Protection Service, or SCRAPS, took custody of the deceased dog. The medical examiner's office will release the victim's identity at a future time. Roger Hammers, who lives next door, told KHQ that a grandmother, grandfather, and a 4-year-old live in the home with a pit bull mix. Roger is a nurse at a nursing home and was asked by the grandfather for help. Hammers witnessed the aftermath of the attack and the child's injuries. It was incredibly difficult to watch that little guy's fight for his life. There was a considerable amount of blood loss, Roger Hammers. This boy's death marks the second fatal pit bull mauling in Washington state this year. Last month, in Kennewick, 65-year-old Beline Cameron died after being attacked by 2 pit bulls that first attacked her pug, Diego. A neighbor witnessed the attack and climbed a 6-foot fence to help. He beat one of the pit bulls with his cane, allowing Cameron to escape inside her home. The second pit bull followed her to her home and continued the attack. No charges have been filed in connection to her death. Scraps confirmed to KREM in this video footage the dog involved was a pit bull. A GoFundMe that identifies the child as Colton Klein has been created to help the boy's family with funeral costs. And a update to this sad and disturbing and tragic event or attack is the following. Dog owner jailed. This is an update from November 18th, 2023. The owner of the pit bull that killed Colton Klein on Halloween is in jail after violating a court order. Dustin Block, 48 years old, appeared on a Spokane Superior Court Friday. In May of 2021, Block was arrested for possessing child pornography and voyeurism. According to court documents, Block's girlfriend at the time discovered hundreds of pornographic photographs and videos on Block's computer. Police investigators determined that 14 photographs depicted minors. When the dog attacked, Colton was with his grandmother inside Block's home. The two are dating. She told police that Colton would stay at the home every other week, but Block was under a no-contact order for minors. If Block had followed that order, Colton would never have been in his home. Block was released without bond in 2021 and is awaiting trial. Had he not been there that night, he wouldn't have been attacked by that dog and presumably would have been alive, the prosecutor said. While Spokane police officers were at the scene of the fatal attack, they observed Block behaving extremely intoxicated. They observed him slurring words, and he was unable to stand. Block admitted to the officers that he was drinking wine when his pit bull violently attacked Colton. Prosecutors argued that the court should impose a $50,000 bond, but the judge set the bond higher at $100,000. Block is set to go on trial for the possession of child pornography and voyeurism next month. KHQ reports the timeline differently. According to the review of court documents that are not viewable to the public, the thumb drive of images depicting minors was found in Block's home in 2021. The allegations of what took place in the photographs occurred in 2015 with a victim who was 15 years old at the time. Block was first given the no-contact order this summer, not in 2021. It remains unclear if Colton's grandmother, who was dating Block, was aware of the no-contact order. The elephant in the room. No information about the pit bull or how or when Block acquired it was mentioned in the KRN report. The child's father posted a Facebook comment that the pit bull had only been in the home for 2 months. Currently, our nonprofit has an outstanding Freedom of Information request into Spokane Regional Animal Protection Service, SCRAPS, who took custody of the dog's carcass after the attack, in the hopes of learning which adoption or rescue agency, if any, Block acquired this dog from. The history of Block is horrible, the possession of child pornography, but a message allegedly sent from the boy's grandmother to people on social media indicate that even after she stabbed the dog, it repeatedly attacked the boy. One lethal bite so strong it had to slit that dog's throat with a kitchen knife for him to release my sweet baby angel, she wrote. I could not talk to 911 and fight the dog off because even after being stabbed, his throat cut, he came back to kill my baby 3 times, she wrote. Colton was in the home of Block, who was violating a non-contact order with minors and was intoxicated at the time. Perfect. Colton was in the home of Block, who recently obtained a pit bull, a dog breed that has killed nearly 270 children since the 1980s. Perfect. Of course, Block wouldn't want a dachshund or beagle or 300 other non-pit bull breeds. Now, Colton is dead. The dog is dead. Relatives are traumatized, and Block is heading into his criminal trial set for December. Perfect. Again, the commentary here, the last few paragraphs basically speaks for itself. The elephant in the room, which is, a person, an irresponsible person, clearly a very irresponsible person, and perhaps criminal person, owning a very aggressive, known to be aggressive and deadly animal. And again, as they said, that is the elephant in the room. Irresponsible dog owners with very dangerous dogs. And when that combination is exposed, it's allowed to be exposed to young children, elderly persons, or just regular people, whether they're very young, very old, or middle age. The danger is still there. The danger for death is there, but it is specifically there, and especially there when there is a younger child there. Even older adults may have the experience, may have the know-how, the ability, the capacity, the knowledge to avoid a dangerous animal, to stay away from it, to keep it at bay, to prevent attacks from it, or even to defend themselves from an attack. But a young child has very little hope to do any of these things. And, a child is usually not strong enough, not fast enough, doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the knowledge to avoid attacks or respond if an attack does occur. So it is up to the owner mainly. The owner has all the power to prevent an attack first. And if an attack does occur, the owner has the power to, a lot of times, either stop it or, attempt to stop it. And when the owners, again, are irresponsible and people that have very little mental capacity, there is a very, very big problem, and one that appears to be rampant in our society. Our society has, especially here in the United States, especially here in the Southeast, our societies here have allowed people to have their quote-unquote freedom to do whatever the hell they want to do. They allow people to have all kinds of weapons, all kinds of animals, aggressive animals, and leave them pretty much unattended, pretty much unsecured a lot of times. And police very, very seldom prevent these accidents, these quote-unquote accidents, which I don't believe for a second they are accidents. They are consequences. They are the fallout. They are the result of bad decisions, stupid decisions. And they are the implications of a few factors that come together. Stupidity in the part of the owner, stupidity in the part of the law enforcement and the government, and the laxed attitudes of pretty much all the adults around these animals. And again, the results sometimes, at the very least, sometimes are quite deadly. The results can be, as in this case, the death of a young child, a tragic death and unwarranted death of a young child, which is by no means justifiable. It is by no means something that should be allowed to occur. And again, the owner, the people that were there are responsible, if not in whole, in very large part, and should be held accountable, should be charged. If they cannot be charged for whatever reason, whether it's the lack of regulation, the lack of laws, then that is the elephant in the room that must be addressed. Laws should be passed, should be pushed for by citizens, should be demanded from citizens to protect the children. Many people, especially here in the South, the backward South, they claim that they are all about the children. They want to protect children from LGBTQ people. They want to protect children from CRT, education, or any kind of mention of critical race theory. They want to protect kids from true American history. They want to protect kids from any kind of teaching that is not the teaching of their upbringing, any kind of religious beliefs that is not in alignment with theirs. They want to shield kids from a lot, they claim, but yet they expose their kids routinely to these dangerous and killer beasts. And it makes you wonder, where is the disconnect? What is the conflict? Where does the conflict lie when it comes to protecting the children? A lot of these people are also quote-unquote pro-life. They want to ban and outlaw any kind of talk about abortion, any kind of talk about, bodily autonomy, any kind of abortion rights. And they want to ban the practice as well. But at the same time, they don't want to protect life of the children that are here. It is hard not to get political in situations like this, where politics can make the difference between life and death. Legislation, laws, which are very directly involved with politics, are important and must be mentioned. And the hypocrisy and the double standard must be also mentioned. And if you are pro-life, if you want to protect the children from whatever it is, then you must be pro-life and protect the children and demand laws. Do not fight laws that criminalize the owning and the mismanagement of killer animals. Do not vote against laws that attempt to bring justice to those irresponsible dog owners that directly caused the death of people, whether it be children, anyone else, or the elderly. But unfortunately, these people that are so pro-life and so dedicated to protecting the children are the first to vote against any kind of legislation, new or existing, that attempts to protect children from killer animals. These people, a lot of them, are the first to deny that there's a problem with pit bulls or aggressive dog breeds. And these people are, in many cases, in many areas of the country, especially here in the South, are the people that are preventing progress in protecting children, elderly, and other people from dog attacks. Thank you very much.